Bounce?
My fidget toy.
We all have STEM toys in our hands, like nervous little anxious babies.
It
has a sponge.
Don't touch the mic. Don't touch the mic. Play with your little sponge.
Hi there, I'm Sam.
And I'm Kylie.
And this is
Crying in the Walk-In.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Crying in the Walk-In. Wee. Goddamn.
I didn't know what to say.
That was cute.
I said we. That voice you hear is
sultry voice you hear
is our good friend Adam.
That's me. I hope I sound sultry.
You sound great. In person, I haven't heard you on recording.
You sound like shit. Adam, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the dear people?
Yeah.
For context,
Oh,
you are the president of the USBG Seattle chapter.
Yes.
Bar manager up at Foreign National.
Hell yeah.
One of our favorite bars. Definitely top of my list.
So dope.
And I read your bio. You know, I did my research before you came on.
Bless.
Karaoke enthusiast, bitch.
Yes.
Let's go.
Karaoke
Yes.
king, I'd like to say.
Yes,
No.
of course.
No.
Yeah.
Karaoke is. I think we're talking about karaoke on this episode, right?
That's what this whole episode's about, yeah.
Is it really? I love that.
I wish, dude.
I was like, oh my God, cool.
Maybe we can take a left turn.
Yeah. My name's Adam Aly.
Bars.
I am the president of the USBG in Seattle. Yeah, 2 years ago became the bar manager of Foreign National, and then I guess since we're talking about community, I was also the head counselor of this last session of Camp Runamok. If y'all know what that is, I guess maybe you don't. It's a bartender camp in Kentucky, where a bunch of bartenders come together and just kind of go to distilleries in the daytime and then party at night. It's exactly how it sounds.
Yeah.
Running amok.
Yeah.
Running amok.
Truly.
Being absolute fiends.
How many times did you cry?
This last session? Probably like 5 times. Yeah, like, you know, it's just a good time. You're gonna cry no matter what, whether it's like a good reason or a bad reason. Like,
right.
I definitely, like 3 of those 5 times were like a good cry.
Hell yeah.
Like, I don't really want to ruin it for anybody, but like, eventually there's pictures at the end and you see yourself like the whole week and everyone's crying. It's great.
I just got a little chills.
Yeah,
that's so
great.
sweet.
Like, it's like one of the most magical things, you know. And crying's not a bad thing. We love crying.
We celebrate it here.
We do.
You're on Crying in the Walk-In.
In the Walk-In.
We built a podcast on it.
Actually, in a Walk-In right now. We're gonna be crying.
I wish we were in a Walk-In because at least there'd be better AC. But
just freeze.
Adam, what's your previous experience in the industry?
My resume.
Yeah.
So my very first, I guess, industry job was general manager of Full Tilt in White Center, RIP.
RIP.
Yeah.
I don't know what that spot is.
It is a punk rock, like, ice cream shop.
Oh, sick.
With delicious
just recently
ice cream.
closed after Justin Klein passed away. For real, RIP.
Also
really,
RIP.
really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was supposed to be like, kind of like a non-gentrified, like, punk rock ice cream shop that was for families.
Cool.
So like the first one was in White Center, and then there was one in Ballard, there was one in U District, and there was one in Capitol Hill, but that was the first one to close. But like, so different than your like normal like Salt and Straw and stuff like that. But
right.
I digress. Sorry, that was the first service industry job. And then I worked at 8 Ounce in Ballard, the burger spot.
Yeah.
I was a busser, and then I was like, I really want to be a bartender, and I was up that guy's ass like every day. Like, please let me be a bartender.
Yeah.
And then through a stroke of luck and drama, I like became. I started working at Barnacle in Ballard, which is like a huge like step up from 8 Ounce in general. And then I was at Fog Room for like a year, and
That's-
then
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Okay, wow.
it's a secret. I was the lead bar back, if you can believe it.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
That's a
Put that at the
reality.
top, top of your
Ever heard
resume.
of that
Yeah,
position.
it's not a real position. I was just like the most
They were
educated
gaslighting
bar
you.
back.
Yeah, yeah.
The most bar backy bar back.
I was a fantastic bar back. No,
Oh, I'm sure.
No lie. But and then I worked at Stampede Cocktail Club in Fremont for like 3 years, and then I've been working at Foreign National.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Mostly leadership, right?
Well, that
Or is this your first bar managing gig?
no. I was the bar manager at Stampede for a couple years, and then when I made that, me and Sam we ate lunch the other day.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how like almost all my jobs have become manager, but that's over my whole life. Like
Oh, okay.
at the hostel I worked at, I became a manager. At Victoria's Secret, I became a manager.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret manager.
3 years, baby. 3 years. Basically, if you work somewhere at 3 years, they'll eventually make you a manager.
Yeah.
They're like, thanks for staying, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's your reward.
We're
More
gonna-
hours,
Yeah.
less pay.
I want to have a follow-up episode about all your Victoria's Secret experiences.
They're
That's
weird,
a
dude.
Patreon episode.
Yeah. You have to pay for that one.
You really do.
Okay. So the real reason we're here today.
Not karaoke.
We love karaoke, but no, we're here to talk about community leadership, like community safety and those types of things. Your positions that you've been in kind of like are unique, and something like that are bigger like than just your average like I would say I've been in leadership positions as supervisor and manager in past restaurant jobs, but like being president of the USBG and actually going to like as a counselor to Camp Runamok means you're like reaching a much broader community and those types of things. So I'm excited to talk about your perspective on those types of things, but yeah.
They'll have a good perspective.
If not,
If not, this episode never made it.
So kind of just going down the line, I think the first like obvious topic of communication is we're bartenders and we serve poison to people.
Yeah. and each other.
Yeah, and each
each other.
other. Yeah, so I mean, on a smaller community level, what does it look like in like your bar space? When it comes to safety rules and guidelines around alcohol for the team and for guests, whether it be legal or just like your attitude and culture that you're creating.
Yeah. So like when it comes to like alcohol safety in general, I know we kind of talked about this the other day. I very much, it's easier from like my point of view as Adam Aly, where it's like I don't drink that much, so I always it's always very easy for me to step back and like have a kind of a healthier point of view on alcohol, just because that's just who I am as a person. I have to be very cognizant of other people's like relationship with alcohol, and that's something that's always like not bothered me, but it's something I've always thought about between my coworkers and then also the people across the bar. Like one time, if we're bringing community into it, like one time I went on the internet and was like, how do you feel about serving someone who you know is an alcoholic?
Yeah.
And people freaked out. They were like, let people be like who they want to be. And like, you're just a bartender, like stay out of people's business. And I'm like, that's really hard for me.
Sure.
'Cause like, that is one of the rings of community, which is I kind of think what you're trying to get at here. It's like, where does the relationship of alcohol come in and which ring of community? So it's like with the bartenders I work with, we, at least at Foreign National, we don't really drink that much. So it's very easy, but I have worked at bars where people did like to drink. And my rule has always been, at least as the manager, where I have a say in things, is I don't care if you drink at work. I guess to the LCB, I do care.
Yeah.
I don't drink at work. But if you were to drink at work, it doesn't really bother me as long as it's not affecting your work.
Yeah, as long as you can do your job.
Yeah.
Same.
And like, there's a very specific line with that for people. It's like some people can have a shot and be totally fine. Some people can have a shot and not be fine. Like I've seen it really take a turn really quickly. But at me as like a no nonsense kind of person to work with, like,
Are you no nonsense?
at least when it comes to working with me, yeah. Like,
yeah, I've never worked with you, so
I'm very, very monotone at work. Well, you came in and tried to drink you were testing a drink at my bar one time, and I walked in and I go, "This doesn't taste right," and you were like, "Oh, I've never had Adam test one of my drinks before." And I'm just very monotone and like very much
direct.
Yeah, so people
I'm like
don't
that
like
too.
to drink around me. I think is because I'll be like, "Why are you drunk?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, "What do you have time to be drinking right now? Like, this is crazy." This is how I would react.
Like at work?
Yeah, at work. Like, I mean, yeah, if you're drunk outside, I don't really.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, I was drinking with you yesterday.
Do not be drunk around me. So yeah, like when it comes to like my inner circle, the people I work with, it's very much like take care of yourself. And if I have to like take care of you, that's when we have a problem. But
Sure, yeah.
right.
And not even like a problem like you're in trouble. Like I care. Like why are you drunk at work? You know, like I've worked with a lot of alcoholics that get drunk at work, and it's like for me, it's like I care about you, and that's not good for you. Like don't do that. Like I don't want to have to fire you, but two, like what's going on? Like what can we do? What can I do to support you to not do that?
Right.
And then like from a community aspect, like, you know, people are going to get drunk. I want people that outside to kind of respect what we're doing, you know, like if someone asks me to take a shot and I don't want to, I want them to respect that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Oh my God.
So yeah, you and I talked about this the other day, and I think that I've worked in a space where the drinking culture was so bad, to the point where like, you know, a couple of the bartenders who are just partying all the time are like taking shots with every single guest who comes in. And then next thing you know, those guests come back in and I'm serving them and they're like, Sam, do a shot with me. And it like to the point where they don't take no for an answer. And I'm like, the shitty thing is that's a little bit on us. Like that is the drinking culture that we've promoted. We've taught guests to expect to do shots with their bartender every time they come in. Yeah. And that's the hard thing is like, I think that's why like we need some sort of leadership in these spaces, because there is a culture around it. There's a tone that you're setting, and you don't want that slippery slope to happen. And it's happened at at multiple spaces that I've worked in. I'm not one for like a no drinking policy altogether, but just like the consent of it all, like, take a shot if you want to have a shot. But also I want to be able to say no and it be respected at the same time.
Sometimes just being straight up honest with these people is like the best thing, because even if they respond incorrectly, you know who you're fucking with at that point. Yeah. Like I've definitely told people, like, they're like, "Oh, why don't you want to drink?" I'd be like, "It makes me sad." And I'll just like look them right in the eye and they're like, "Oh, oh my God." And I'm like,
I fucking love that.
I've done that too.
And they're like,
so disarming.
Well,
and they're just,
have a good night. Or like, you can still take a shot. Like, I just don't want to do it. Don't pressure me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I've literally told somebody, I had a panic attack yesterday actually, so gotta lay off the alcohol.
And the people are just like shocked into it, and you're like, yeah, feel bad.
Yeah.
Like, so do you want anything? Or?
Yeah.
Stop. Oh my God, the shaking.
Just did a little shake weight.
So circling back though, like talking about like beyond the bar, the guests on the other side of the bar, not just your staff. I'm
more talking about people like who are your friends, and like, you know, because like you've been to their job and they're drunk, or you're part of their life every single time you see them when you're out, because you're out with all the same people in the service industry, and you know that that's the case, and you know that they're walking up to your bar and they're going to order a shot and a cocktail at the same time, and they're going to be drunk in probably 30 minutes. And it eventually came to the point like where I did sit them down and I was like, "Hey, I'm worried about you." And I'm telling you this like out of the bar because I didn't want to like embarrass you or make you feel weird when you were drinking, but like, you know, so we went and got coffee, and I was like, when you come to my bar, it's going to be like one drink an hour. And like, 'cause I don't want to kick you out. I love you. I think you're great. But like, I'm also worried, and I don't want to be the person contributing to that behavior.
Yeah, it's hard to make that call.
It's so hard. It's like, oof.
No, but I mean, so it's also just like we as bartenders, we deal with these questions all of the time. You're also in a unique position being a bar manager and like a community leader to have to step up and make those hard decisions. Like, definitely, I hope you're getting paid for all of this emotional.
I am not. that is.
Is the USBG a voluntary thing?
It's a complete voluntary position.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's Venmo will be in the show notes.
That'd be so funny. No, if I did it for money, I'd be doing other things, I think. But,
yeah.
It's more because I just can't help but care, unfortunately.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it just I can't help. Is like you have a lot of love and care, and like we are dealing with a messy situation of being people who serve alcohol, but you seem to have a lot of love and care, and I want to get into one example of it. Just because it was early on after meeting you, I didn't know you that well, but you and the Foreign National, or I don't know if it was Foreign National specifically, but y'all were hosting Bar Prom.
Okay, so it wasn't Foreign National. It was I was kind of like the person who had connections, but it was really put on by a past guest, Celestina Nunez, and then their partner, Elaine Cabellos. We're the ones who really wanted to do Seattle Bar Prom, and I obviously wanted to help, but they didn't want to like put too much pressure and stress on me. So like I was helping and like getting like knowing the people to talk to, like Beam Suntory, who did most of this, like did the sponsoring, and like I have all the drama, so like I knew like who wasn't allowed.
Exactly. So what I was getting at was I thought this was a wonderful example of community leadership. Was that for Bar Prom this past year, there was an 86 list, and which meant, people in the industry who have either harmed other people in the industry. Basically, that's kind of the threshold is like, if you've harmed anyone else in this bar community, you're not welcome at this event. Yeah. And for me, it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, we could have just not had that or like secretly had that even and dealt with it as trouble arose. But you led with no, there is not going to be any trouble. People who are harming people in our community are not welcome in this space. Like it's going to be a safe and fun event for everyone. Yeah. And that's just one of the things that I saw you do that I was like, this motherfucker cares about the community and puts thought into the events and spaces you're a part of. Yeah. I just think it's important to say out loud.
Yeah.
For sure.
It doesn't need to be a
I would
secret.
like also to like say out loud, it wasn't just my idea to have it. It was definitely the whole team. But I just had, like I said, I had the information, and I was one of the people willing to like, because I appreciate that you said that you liked it, because some people didn't, unfortunately. Like some people thought it was exclusive, which is a weird thing to say. But
exclusive to non-predators, dude.
Exclusive to non-predators, but luckily you had 3 like community leaders who don't give a fuck. Yeah. So we were like, if you don't like, that certain predators or people who are accused of stuff aren't allowed, get fucked. Sorry about it.
I am shocked. That is
it's pretty crazy.
It's Kylie's jaw just dropped
again.
Jaw dropper. Yeah, that's what we're calling this episode.
Yeah.
It was I don't know. As Bar Prom is like, and I want it to be this way because like I'm a very sexually open person, and like Bar Prom is like inherently pretty sexy. When you go, it's like literally all your bartender friends getting together and getting absolutely wasted and like twerking on the ground. I think I was definitely half naked at Bar Prom and as the MC, and was just like getting crazy, and that's how it's supposed to be. But like, and I love that. That's a space that I want to have. But like, unfortunately, in like the bar community in general, like it can also be an inherently unsafe place because if unfortunately some people see people being sexy and having a good time, they're like, this is my opportunity to take what I want. And making sure that those people aren't there is like a great way to just not have it happen, which it didn't. Like nothing happened at Bar Prom. Those people didn't show up. Like we didn't even have to like do anything. So it was I'll keep doing it. If we keep having events that have that are just being ran by like community leaders like us, like I will continue to be like, fuck you, don't come.
Yeah. No, it's aside from alcohol, we deal with creeps like in the industry, but also across the bar top. So that was like the next example of like community safety and like how you set a tone for things. Yeah. I mean, you've had a kink event you're talking about like wanting to do these sexy events, and there should be safe spaces to do them in. So yeah, I'm just curious what your thoughts are on creeps in bars. What are your immediate no's?
God, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sensitive. I ain't gonna lie to you, but like, I will sometimes say no more than my female-bodied counterparts, just because unfortunately they're more used to bad behavior than I am. So like sometimes I feel like I'm actually the one who's more sensitive. But immediate no's. Not taking no for an answer from a female-bodied person is a big no for me. Snapping your fingers is something to get me really mad really fast. That isn't necessarily just a creep behavior.
No, let's add it to the list.
Yeah, but it is bad. Like that's something that will set me off immediately. This doesn't happen really much at Foreign because we have such a small space. But God, what's the word for it? When you're sectioning someone off, blocking like when you can see someone like forcing someone into a space, like that's a big like
forcing or restricting movement.
Yeah. Making unwanted sexual comments.
Yeah.
Commenting on like appearance in general more than like I get sometimes you're just trying to shoot your shot and you say one thing, but if like clearly the person's not like responding, like continuing to make comments on their physical appearance is like a huge red flag for me. I'm like, well, we're going down a path right now. But I mean, those are like the small things. Obviously, there's a lot of red flags where like to me, it's almost like getting kicked out right away, like touching. You know, like not that if that ever happened in front of me, I'd probably just lose my fucking mind. But like groping and shit like that. And,
those are pretty fucking.
I work in a pretty privileged place now where like that just isn't really like how it happens. But
but I also think that's like part of the culture, like you're curating.
Yeah.
Like it's really easy to be a person who says that they care about community safety, and that they give a shit when somebody feels uncomfortable. But if you're not like active in those, like following it up with action, then what the fuck?
Definitely, I'm a big proponent of like teaching your guests how to behave. Because if we don't teach them. It's I guess teaching is an interesting word because people who are doing the wrong thing often aren't going to learn. Like in your space, that is like maybe their mom will come down and tell them like what to do one day and they'll listen to their mother. But like, but if we have a like anytime I'm the manager of a place, there's a no tolerance policy to someone being creepy. Like I said, I'm pretty sensitive about it. So like, you know, if something's happening to me, I'll be very straightforward, but I try to give a lot of autonomy to my employees on whether they think something's okay or not. But if it's time to come to me as the manager, that means it's time to go. Like I'm not there to have more of a conversation.
Like you're saying your employees have probably already said no.
Oh yeah.
Or said you're done, whatever. And so now they're at your door.
Yes. If they're at my door, it's time to go and there will be no talking. And I'm just using my large body to like stand in front of you until you get the fuck out. And I've said that to someone before. They're like, oh, they're trying to talk. I don't know what she said, but it's not right. And I'm like, if I'm getting called, like I'm bouncing you. You're getting bounced.
Like, then we actually have a fucking problem.
I could give a shit what your side of the story is. Like I've heard the side of the story that I care about. And it's we're
from the person I trust.
I'm like,
I don't know you. Who are you? Random ass person. Accused of being creepy.
Like, I also do think it's funny when guests think that they're and for a long time, I do think that the restaurant industry like what the guest is always right.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I'm glad that's a bygone era.
I will say, so you touched on it for a moment, but you're a male-bodied person.
Yeah,
you're also a big male-bodied person. Like you can be intimidating.
I'm a thick boy,
if need be, thick. So I'm just curious what your perspective is on being like a community leader as a male-bodied person, and like you were talking about, like allowing your female-bodied employees and coworkers to speak for themselves. Like where is your role, and where does it like kind of stop and end?
For sure. I definitely feel this way in general. about everybody in the community. It's obviously a little bit more like these are my people, like the people I work with. I do work in an all queer, like everyone but me is female bodied. So my position is very privileged. Like a very, like you said, I'm a male bodied big person. So people don't often fuck with me. So that's good for me. But like, obviously, like we should be using that, like, I should be using that for good, like a
superhero.
definitely not a superhero, but yeah, like I think that's kind of every male body person's responsibility, that if there's someone who needs it, and wants it, like I definitely mentioned earlier, like I have been, and part of the reason I try to be so active about it is like I have definitely been the person who's like white knight syndrome, like I'm gonna save the women here, like that was definitely me, like probably like 21, like wanting to, not like looking for problems, but like anytime someone would complain, like I'll do something about it, and they're like, no, I'm just trying to fucking just trying to complain about my shitty boyfriend. Like I don't need you to beat his ass or anything. Like damn. But yeah, like I guess a most recent example would be there was this really creepy, was definitely on there, but he was more just odd, like a weird person, because he wasn't just being weird to the female body people at the bar, but also anybody who would listen.
Love.
Celestina was the person who was initially talking to this person, and they got to a point of being over it, and that's when they looked at me, I was like, okay, it's time for me to step in. And most of the time the issue with men in general is that they're just not listening to the female bodied person, and like they just need a person that unfortunately they respect, because they're
for whatever reason,
like, so that is I look at it as a responsibility, but like that is the privilege of being a male person, like to hopefully use that when someone needs it. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
I mean, I think you answered it. I think it's important to hear other men say like we are privileged, and then how do we use that? And then also, the white knight thing is so interesting to me.
Yeah,
I have a few of those in my life. But
you just counted them.
I was just thinking about it, or just like encountered them.
It's appreciated.
It's like the thought is there. But I also we want to make sure we maintain autonomy and get to a point where also like a female bodied bartender can just do it themselves, and and like maybe once we teach our community more to respect those voices, it'll get better. But we're here right now, so I appreciate using that privilege that you have. But this leads me to wonder if women can even be in charge. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I was not expecting that, dude.
Savage.
I'm actually
fucking got me.
I'm actually just a white man with a microphone on the internet
with a podcast.
I don't know if y'all knew that.
Oh, God.
Coming out right now.
This white man over here.
Holy fuck.
Oh my God. Okay.
Joe Rogan, is that you?
Yeah, I know. Okay, but moving into some more fun things, like we've gone over some of like the dangers and like the harder responsibilities of community leadership, but I'm curious about the role of mentorship, which is a bright and fun thing, challenging for sure. And you could talk about the hard parts of it, but also like what it looks like in the bar community. For you, I do assume it's a little different. So when I hear the word mentorship, I'm like literally thinking about the people who taught me what a Negroni is and how to shake a cocktail and what Bekarovka is, those types of things, like that mentorship. But at being a community leader, I'd imagine your job is a little bit different.
Yeah. I do want it to be I want this to be a fun part, because like as community should be, but like I would say being a community leader, like the hardest part about being a mentor is that people come to you with things, whether they're good things or bad things.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times someone's come to me and been like, and this is great, this is why I do it. They're like, I have a question about this thing. Like one of my friends from I think it's Virginia. I can't remember where you live right now. I'm so sorry.
Do you think they listen?
She does listen.
Cute.
I know where you live.
Hi, we love you.
Hi, Amanda. And she texted me and she was like, "Oh, I really like this cocktail that you had at Foreign. Like, do you mind sharing the recipe?" And I'm like, "Boom, here you go." Like, so it's as easy as like, here's a recipe. Like, I've had people be like, I guess someone who works at Darkroom that you both know, like, messaged me and was like, "Can we talk? Like, I'm doing a pop-up soon. I would really love to like pick your mind on," not that I've done that many pop-ups. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm the right person to talk to, but like, I'll let you know. You know, we just had like a 30-minute conversation about like what you should be looking for, like how to advocate for yourself, like what you should be doing. Like, I love that people come to me with that, but like also a lot of people come to me with like dark stuff, like like, this person is a predator, like what are you gonna do about it? And it's like, oof, all right, cool. And you know, I will do that, but like it is trying on like your emotions to be like that all the time. So I think being a community leader is definitely worth it, but like it is incredibly hard. There are different types of mentorship though. Like I really want the type of mentorship that you're referring to, in which I have like a person that I'm like, oh, I'm teaching this person how to do this thing. Like, I love so cute. That. Yeah. I've done that twice before, and like I'm kind of in a way doing it now with like one of the bartenders next door that's gonna start picking up shifts at Foreign. But we don't get to work together that often. But like the times I've done it before, I get really attached to the person, and I'm like, oh man, I really want you to do a good job. So like when they do something that isn't good, I feel bad. And I'm like, oh God, like why is this the case? So like that kind of mentorship is really hard for me now, because like it is very emotionally taxing. It's like, should I just not like, I think the answer is I shouldn't mentor men anymore, because like they're almost always disappointing. Sorry. But
I'm sorry, but there's only been like one episode where we don't talk about how disappointing men are. Sorry. Like, I
just thought I'd put that out there. Yeah. Like, I really want you guys to do better. But like, you know, every time I've mentored a woman or a female bodied person or like a queer person, basically a queer person also, usually good.
The girls, gays, and theys.
Yes. Always doing it right for me. But so like when it comes to that small bit of mentorship, I like it, but it's hard because you get attached. The overarching mentorship is really, really important. Like someone needs to be doing that. But it is also, that's like emotionally draining in like a like more world view, like because I have all this information that people give me about what's going on in the bar industry.
I know,
that other people don't have, and I'm like, oh.
We're never.
Oh my God!
We're never going to be able to talk about it on the pod, but I want to get inside your brain and like because you probably just hold so many secrets. But
isn't just being a bar manager is like that. There's so much shit that you cannot tell your employees, and it's
which is cool.
I want to tell.
Everybody. Like I definitely respect that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't hold. No. I couldn't hold all that stuff in my brain.
It is what it is. You know, just know if you're shitty in Seattle, I'm probably the one coming for you.
Dun dun dun. Adam
so
lifts
funny.
too, so you should.
Yeah, I'm coming, baby.
Yeah. You want to talk about your deadlift PR?
Oh my God! Just brush his hair out of face. I did 425. Thank you very much.
Let's go, baby.
I haven't been lifting like that recently. I've been doing other stuff, but it's been a nice little break on my knees.
Yeah. My knees have been in pain lately, actually.
Hashtag bar life.
Hashtag bar life.
So we like to drink and have fun.
Yes.
And that's one
fair.
way to build community. And I'm just like curious, where are you drinking to have fun? Like, what I'm trying to get at is you've done pop-ups in New York lately. You've done Runamok, like, but what I really mean is like, yeah, how, like, where's your community growing right now? Like, where are you, like, I'm sure you made some connections in New York, had fun there and at Camp Runamok. Now you've got friends in Virginia and God knows where else and stuff like that.
I feel like it's not Virginia. It just like makes me I'm just nervous, okay?
Yeah.
How is my community growing? There's a lot of things. Like life is as much as like, you know, it sounds like I'm a really sad, dark person, which is true and honest, but like life is good when it comes to that. Like the USBG in Seattle is growing. Benjamin Wright, the vice president, is like really on it and wants to get y'all like insurance and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too.
I want get him on here. Get him on here.
Yeah.
On like I'm going to Tales where I'll meet no more people. I'm doing a pop up there, and like really, I would say Camp Runamok is like a big way because like you get 7 days to like hang out with these people, and you're kind of not stuck with them, but you actually get to meet the people from different places, and that's really how connections happen.
Yeah,
hang out.
Yeah, like but yeah, I guess that's how it's growing right now. We'll see how it is in a year, but it's you know, just be friendly with people, and eventually I think that comes to fruition. Like one of the people who was like a co-chair for this most recent like Tales like committee, like for the Spirited Awards, was like a friend that I made before I was the bar manager. You're really cool. Like let's hang out. And like every time they come into town, we hang out, and now they're a co-chair, and then that's how it is. Like me and Craig were friends from back in the day, and now he's like the global ambassador / part owner of Pathfinder, and that's how we did the pop up at in New York. And now I know the people who work at Milady's. So like I know one of the like people who was up for best bartender of the year. And you know, you just gotta be friends with people.
Yeah.
Just gotta put
Yeah, I think that's been my biggest growing or biggest area of growth in the last year was just moving down to a smaller scale like cocktail bar. Is like, oh, now we're homies with the other industry people in the community. Yeah. Like in the chain restaurant. Chain. Sorry, bitch, you're a chain.
It's a chain.
It's a chain.
Like chain.
In the chain restaurants I used to work in the restaurant group I used to work in, they were so fucking insular. It was like,
it is crazy. Yeah.
It was like everyone in this restaurant group only hangs out with each other. Yeah. Whereas like when you're a team of 6 people and you want to get stuff done, you got to start shaking hands with the bartenders next door.
Yeah.
Doing shots with people, going out with people, having conversations. Like that's been the coolest part of my bartending journey this last year. And like it has been maybe the only reason why I'm like, oh, maybe I'll consider being a bartender forever.
It's really sweet. It's very cute.
It's very sweet.
It's a great community.
And I've been told this a lot. This is kind of like a story about how I got into the community in general as well. But like a big part of, I guess, my success in building a community and getting to know people is just being super honest.
Yeah.
And like, even if you look stupid, like like when you're talking about going out to other people's bars, it's like go into a bar intentionally. Go and be like, I love this bar. I love this cocktail. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But I got my start in this by making a weird post on Facebook where I'm like, I'm stupid and I don't know anything about bartending. Does anyone want to be my mentor? And it caused this huge fight on Facebook.
What?
Do you remember that? It caused a huge fight on Facebook.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it was me.
Tell me.
I'd already done it at a USBG meeting too, where like I basically stepped in the middle of like 40 people and was like, I'm dumb, please teach me.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh wow, he's so cute, even though I'm like a 24-year-old man at this point. But like so I get on the internet and I'm like, hey, I'm working at 8 Ounce. It's a burger place. I get it. Like I'm technically a bartender, but like I would love to do cocktails. Like, is anyone looking for like a mentee? I would love like that kind of like personal relationship and like, you know, or any advice. And like a lot of people were like, oh yeah, like we'll keep an eye out for you. But like one guy who I guess was a very disliked person in the community already, which I didn't know because I'm new to the community, goes, you should pick yourself up by your bootstraps and like read some books. And like, and me being from Las Vegas, I'm like, I do not care what this person has to say on the internet. Like I read it, I was like, okay, fine. Just went on to the next thing. It caused a huge fight between people in the community against this guy, which I didn't know. I was like, man, we're really fucking mad.
Yeah. And
then out of this, Brady Sprouse, who isn't part of the community anymore, finally got on there and was like, you can come work at Barnacle, or you can come interview at Barnacle. He didn't hire me on the spot, but like, it was just me going out there and be like, hey, this is what I want. Like, I'm sorry if that makes me look dumb.
Yeah.
But like, this is what I want. And like, you don't have to give it to me. Like, I'll work for it. But like, I just, I really want to try really hard. And like, I care about this thing. And like, is anyone willing to help me? And then it, something came of it. And I feel like that being that way with everyone I meet is kind of what has driven, at least this is what I've been told. This is like what has driven my like success in the community is that I might not be good at everything. Like I'm definitely super anxious and like let things go all the time. And like, I'm not very good at texting people back, but like when you do talk to me,
is
like
anyone?
some people are,
That's crazy.
What's it like?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Fucking horrible at texting.
I'm just like, hey, this is how I feel. And like, I'm fucked up right now. Or, like I need this thing or I need this support, and just being honest about it usually will kind of work out in the end for me.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah.
And then we had a brief discussion about it the other day, but I'm curious where your standards for community came from. What experiences you had when you were...
Here's a fun one.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about my full... I did talk about my full resume, I think.
You talked about your restaurant resume, but you had a life before that.
I had three years in where I worked at a party hostel in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And then during that and before that, I was very into church. I'm not anymore, but I was super into community is what I realized later on in life. And going to church every Sunday, I was like, oh man, this is really tight. And then realized later on that I didn't really actually believe in Jesus, but like I liked getting together with people, the youth group specifically, every Sunday, because like, oh, it's something to do and it's like people to know and people who care about you. And ever since that point, that's what drove like me wanting to be part of a community. And like eventually I went to go work at this hostel, and I think working at this hostel is like a big reason why I care so much about like community safety, just because like it was a crazy place to be in Las Vegas. And I was a very like malleable 19-year-old boy who like was around a bunch of like older men who were like, oh, there's this pickup artist shit, and like you can learn to like get girls to like you and blah blah blah. And it never really sat right with me, and there was like a lot of stuff like going on in that hostel that was like not great. And like I was not like for it, obviously, because like I had these thoughts, but I was definitely like complicit in some like things. And that has now bled into like my life now. And it's like the bar industry is exactly the same. Like, or it's not exactly the same. There's definitely more like femme-bodied queer people working in our industry, thank God, than this hostel in Las Vegas. But like the complicitness to bad behavior and like thinking that as long as it's not happening to you, it doesn't matter is something that I've taken from that experience and like can't not be like in our bar industry now. So it's like there's no reason to let people get away with shit that they shouldn't be doing. Right. And that's very much colored like my community standards and how I feel about community now.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going to be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be part of that, but I'm also actively going to be against it.
Okay, and then do you yourself, like while you're in these leadership positions, do you yourself have either any mentorship that's happening for you, that people who have helped you, or do you just do you feel supported, or are you just like, fuck, I'm gonna shoulder this burden right now?
For sure. this was a question that like when you sent me, I was like really thinking about. I'm like, when it comes to community, like community leadership, I feel like I have had some mentors, but not necessarily any that like I've like been under like when it was happening.
Yeah,
Like
you've just
passive
seen,
learning.
you've seen somebody do, and you're like, I like that. I'm gonna do that.
I definitely feel supported. Like there are definitely people that I'm working with currently that make me feel like a community is happening and is healthy. Like y'all doing this podcast is great. Like it's a very,
That's one of our goals.
Yeah.
A pillar, just to.
That's great. And I love seeing like that. It's very much about, not just about spirits and like, talked about mental health, which was like a lot to me.
I'm sorry, but I could not just sit here and be like,
just do that all the time.
Yeah, I could not be like, tequila is this, vodka
Tequila
is
101,
this.
102,
Like,
103.
like I want, like, those are fun conversations to get into, but I couldn't do that every day. Also, it's not my strength.
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking about strength and weaknesses as bartenders, my strength is not my liquor knowledge.
Yeah.
My strength is like
people stuff.
Yeah,
You're
people
a
stuff.
psychologist.
People
TM.
stuff, and also the physical part.
Oh.
I fucking
The way Sam looked at me in that moment, I was just confused.
yeah. Sorry about that. No. I don't mean to brag, but the way I can load a dishwasher.
Oh, okay.
Is no.
I'm like blushing right now. I was like, oh my god.
Is it more?
No, I truly mean like the physical action
Yes.
of bartending, like
Yeah.
how you shake, how you stir. Like
sure.
I love being
The flow
good at-
state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flow state, bitch. I've never heard that.
So this is like I'll get back to the topic that I was on a second ago. But
yeah.
I watched a movie a long time ago about like what it takes to be happy, and one of those things is like actively getting into a flow state several times a week, or like at like a normal process. And like a flow state is just something that I find in bartending. It's one of the reasons why I felt like I stuck with this one.
Gotcha.
Over all my different careers, is because I've never worked a job in which I've entered into a flow state. A lot of people get it from other things, like when some people play basketball or like play video games or things that aren't necessarily having to do with work. They still do those things all the time, and it's one of the things that contributes to happiness.
That's so fascinating.
Yeah, look
'Cause it
that
makes-
one up. It's
it
called
makes
Happy.
sense.
It's called Happy.
I've seen that. I didn't even connect this
Yeah.
to that, but like I was thinking about that the other day when I was bartending. I was like, wow, I'm really in like I'm not thinking about what
Yeah.
I'm doing. I'm just doing.
You're
and, like,
meditating essentially.
Yeah. Wow, I never put that together.
Whoa, this
There
is
we go, baby.
crazy.
You're welcome.
Let's go.
So yeah, I think
Mic
that's
drop.
that's been.
Don't.
But don't drop the mic.
Let me take it out real quick.
Ewan would be pissed.
Sorry, Ewan. That was a big thing about me, like doing this longer than 3 years, because that's kind of been my like terminus for like most jobs. But back to the mentors and stuff like that. Like obviously Celestino and Lane, as I called out earlier, like they're huge. Like I look up to them a lot, and then Celestina and Milton with Fortify the Culture. Sam Miller in Salt Lake City is like the one I look up to. He's like incredibly great public speaker, and he just did his version of Brown and Balance at Camp Runamok, which if you don't know what that is,
Yeah, tell us.
like it is a group that does like events geared towards people of color.
What's it called? Say it again.
Brown and Balanced.
Brown and balanced. Cute.
I don't want to speak on it too much because it's not,
Yeah,
not
it's-
my thing, obviously.
yeah.
But
Maybe we'll call them and have them on.
I would love that.
Yeah.
If you could have Sam Miller on here or Josh Davis, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But, just I don't know. When it comes to community, those are like the people that I look up to.
What's your favorite karaoke song?
What's your go-to?
Yeah.
My go-to is "Say It Ain't So" by Weezer, as you both know.
I've definitely seen you perform.
Done karaoke with me. That's like my ringer that I've been doing since I was
My ringer.
like 19, I think.
Uh-huh.
Like I remember the first time I did karaoke in Las Vegas, and it went so poorly. And I think the first karaoke song I ever did was Something by the Beatles,
Mm-hmm.
and the first word came out, and I immediately realized I didn't know how to sing it. Like I couldn't hit the notes, and so I just made weird jokes the rest of the time up there.
Like a stand-up set over the music?
But like not good. Like it was just like was just like me making like weird. I think they had like, you know, blow up stuff on that, so I just started making like dirty jokes and stuff like that. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was drunk.
That's funny.
But after that, then I started singing "Saying It So," and that's been my song since then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to get Chaparral Roan in there. I might just start doing Pink Pony Club.
Oh my God, you have to.
I like doing Kelly Clarkson.
Uh-huh.
You did both of these at my birthday, and they were incredible.
Yes. Since You've Been Gone was crazy. We love that.
Yeah.
But like for me particularly, like I really want to sound good because like for me it's the performance. Like I don't know if we've ever gone to karaoke before where like there's not a lot of people there. That's actually harder for me.
Oh,
like, I
much
want
harder.
there to be a bunch of people there.
That's harder. You also just need the crowd feedback. Like
Yeah.
that's actually one of my favorite parts of karaoke. Like I like singing, but I also enjoy wholeheartedly being a good audience member.
It's so fun.
Clapping, singing,
Honestly,
cheering,
great
wooing.
example of community.
Milton Toledo.
So fun.
Crying in the walk-in stories or
Yes.
crazy ass shit.
We love it. Should we talk about the shit?
If you want.
I guess it makes sense because
is this a poop story?
It's a
I
poop
love
story.
it.
It's a poop story. Because I was trying to decide if I wanted to tell the poop story or not. I was like, if the whole episode's been kind of dark and I've talked about a lot of dark stuff, I'll tell the poop story because it's.
How are you
it's
feeling
just fun and
emotionally
nice.
right now?
I feel great. I just feel like a lot of my answers are like I'm sad.
No.
Things
I
are
don't think so.
crazy.
No.
But
I think it's all I think you carry a lot of stuff, but also it's like, yo, the hopeful part of the story is we're doing something about it.
yeah, which sounds great. It sounds great for a poop story.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's go.
Let's tell the poop story.
Let's go.
Sure. So this is like my most recent crazy, like awful story. And I technically didn't cry. And we also, well, actually we do have, Stateside has a walk-in. I could have walked over there. I didn't get there. So trigger warning for poop. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like,
already mentioned.
if you don't like,
Poop like
if you don't like, well, but the poop is happening now.
Yeah. Here it
Yeah.
comes,
So if you don't
baby.
like that, please don't listen to this story.
Yeah.
It's like 8. It's like pretty early in the night. And so I think Sel came out of the bathroom and was like, "Man, it really smells bad in the bathroom. Like I don't know what's going on, but like it's not good in there."
Mm-hmm.
We go in there to like investigate and we look, and I don't know if you've ever been to, well, you've been to Foreign. It has like the pink walls, and we're looking on the walls, and there's like dots on the walls, like kind of like against the wall, against the toilet. So I'm thinking someone who was incontinent stood up and was like taking their pants up or down, and then farted violently, and kind of like buckshot everything. So that's pretty awful, right? You know, we're cleaning that. It smells like shit. Yeah. Let me paint a picture for you. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
So we clean that. We get to the point where we're like, okay, there's definitely still some in here, but we can't find it right now in the middle of the service. Like, but it's like it smells fine enough in here that we're like, we got to get back to work. It's like the shit is happening.
Yeah.
No pun intended. It's like 8:00 and that we're starting to get like really busy.
Like you're actually in the shit.
Yeah, we're
metaphorically and physically.
Metaphorically in the shit. And then somewhere around, I think probably like 9, maybe it was a little earlier than that because like last call is at the end of the story. Last call on food. Someone else, unfortunately a guest, comes out of the bathroom an hour later and is like, "It's bad in there." And we're like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You have to go in there right now."
Oh, no.
And I go into the bathroom, our nice, beautiful pink bathroom with like the gold, sink and stuff like that.
Great selfie bathroom.
Great selfie bathroom. It wouldn't have been in this moment. There is shit all over the back of the toilet it's in the seat, and it was so bad that I had to, in the middle of service, take the toilet apart to clean it. It was like inside the
all
screws,
the nooks and crannies,
all the nooks and crannies.
Wait, so when you say the back of the toilet, you mean like where the seat? It's like the tank. Part?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I don't know if I had to like paint a picture of what was going on. Maybe they were running to the toilet and they tried to get on there, and it started way too high up, and it was like, back of the toilet onto the side on the ground.
Sure.
Unfortunately, so that's when
You're
I
giving
started.
them a lot of credit, though.
I am giving them a lot of credit, but it didn't seem malicious.
That
Okay.
person was in the bar with you.
That person was in there twice. It was the same person. Unfortunately, the smell was the same. Like, yeah.
But what I mean is,
This human was close.
Yeah, they were
is he
close
in the
to you.
room with you right now? Yes.
Yes. They were like, oh boy, he's going
I guess
in
I
there
shouldn't
now.
assume it's a he, but
Well, I mean,
my issue too is like
That
once
eyebrow
you
raise.
shit all over a bathroom once,
leave.
You don't
right?
go home.
The buckshot would have sent me home with my tail between my legs for sure. But
dude,
this
for
person,
real, I'm like, I pooped like that in a public restroom. It's time to cash out. It is time to go home. It is time to take care of business
Yeah.
at home.
But then, like, so they ended up shitting everywhere later. This is kind of, or I guess I'll ask this question after I finish the story. I disassociated for probably an hour. It took an hour. I come
To
out,
clean the bathroom.
yeah, because it was so like I had to get stuff in there. Like
Mhm.
I had to, like I said, take the toilet apart. And then when I get out an hour later, I'm so shook. I'm completely gone, disassociated.
Mhm.
That was the only time that Foreign Nationals ever closed early. I was like, I don't think I can go back to service. Like, we're already doing last call on food. Like, I think we're done. You know,
I am traumatized.
yeah. Like, and that's very.
Shook to the
I'm
core.
very hard. Like one of the things that guests really like about me is that I'm unshakable.
Mhm.
But that's just because I have like a weird, like disassociated, like
Ability.
yeah, that is like nothing really affects me.
Mm-hmm.
This affected me, and I was like, we have to close. Like, I can't go back to service.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a question when I tell this story, I ask this question of people. What would you have done if you accidentally shit all over the toilet? Would you have ran for your life? Would you have asked, or would you have been like, hey, I'm sorry I shit all over the bathroom, I'm going to go? Or would you be like, don't go in there.
Yeah.
Just bring me cleaning supplies.
I'd honestly be like, don't go in there. Give me the cleaning supplies.
would
I'm
clean up
gonna
after
clean
myself.
it.
Yeah.
And then be like, I'm so sorry.
I'll
Like,
never be back again.
yeah. And then tip like 100%.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like 1,000%. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Like, just here's $100 in
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah. Seriously.
No, I would clean up after myself.
Yeah.
I don't think I've
At least
never.
try.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want to
even
get
any
caught.
attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no attempt, clearly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
even just taking the toilet paper and just swiping it over, like any attempt.
I don't think I've.
Picasso.
Yeah.
Picasso.
No, Picasso.
Yeah.
Picasso.
I just want to do a couple of small shout outs because like
Ooh, we love it.
we've
'Cause
gone
community.
over because community. Once again, follow Claudia LB. I have a meeting with him tomorrow
Nice.
to do some intro music for the pod.
Oh, no
So that's
way.
coming. That's coming.
So cool.
Yeah, amazing. And then I'm just gonna say Ewan's first name because I haven't asked them, and we can
Nicholson.
edit out. Nicholson. Okay.
Nicholson.
Nicholson.
I don't know why I thought you said Nippleson, but but I know that because Ewan's going to Tails with me, so I
know.
have a picture of their ID.
They are our new help with audio, so that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I'm shouting
God,
them
we
out
love
right
you
now.
so much.
They got us all set up with fun mic stands, and they showed us how to use things that I can.
So you guys don't have to listen to our crazy levels that I edit and post.
Yeah.
And sounds wild.
Thank you,
yeah,
Kai. Thank you,
yeah.
Kai.
So thank you,
Get
Ewan,
in
for that.
get in the comments about how good this episode sounds.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ewan.
please.
Please help.
Cool. Thanks to motherfucking Adam.
That's me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Motherfucking Adam here.
That's your name.
I love Adam.
Yeah, thank you for meeting me in my sweltering apartment and having an awesome discussion on community.
It's only hot because we're in here talking.
I know. Yeah, yeah, you brought the heat, baby. It was a little cooler when it was just me and the cat. But yeah, and then do you want people to be able to follow you or reach you in
For
any
sure.
sort of way?
My shit's so public.
Let's go. Put it out there.
Yeah, you can follow me at the number 1 OZ of Adam, 1 ounce of Adam on Instagram.
Any projects you have coming up other than Tails?
I think it's just
You're a lazy
the-
bitch.
I'm a lazy bitch, I think. That's funny. Yeah, it's just the Westland. Oh, God, I'm trying to remember the long ass name for this.
Don't worry, you're not a
It's like-
spokesperson for them.
Yeah, it's camp theme. I know that it's like West Hot American Summer because it's all West Coast bartenders.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it is on the Wednesday of Tales at Bar Tonique.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is coming out before then, but see me.
Hopefully within the next.
It's like 2 hours long. I'm just gonna be wearing booty shorts, shaking 150 cocktails. So
Bitch, let's go.
see it.
Love that.
That's what everyone wants to see.
I want you to do another one of your kink pop-ups. That was so
Yeah.
fun.
Oh, so I know where the next kink pop. Wow.
Kink pop-up.
I know where the next kink pop up is gonna be, but I don't know when it's gonna be because I've
Mystery.
just been. Oh, it's gonna be a dark room. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not care.
That's the name of the episode.
Who's been a nasty
I will
boy?
I've been
Hey.
Anybody gonna match my
A
freak?
That's good.
Who's gonna match Adam's freak?
Yeah.
Who shall match my freak?
Also, all right, here's the real question. Who's going to match Adam's Freak and be our 69th follower on Spotify?
69.
Let's go.
It better be from this podcast.
Yeah, we need one more follower to reach 69 followers on Spotify. Which leads me to my last shout out, which is you all. Thank you so much for listening, Mom. Thank you, everyone else.
Thanks, Mom.
Mom does listen, but
Yep. Both moms.
but thank you all for listening to every episode, some episodes. Thanks for sharing us. Feel free to reach out if you want us to promote anything. All right, cool.
All right,
well,
cool.
keep listening and
Drink water.
yeah, drink
Especially
some water.
right
It's
now.
getting
God,
hot.
fuck, it's hot.
Yeah. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
It was so good
Love you,
having
Adam.
I had a great time.
Oh.
Thanks for listening to Crying in the Walk-In with Sam and Kai. Find us on Instagram at cryinginthewalkin_pod and on Spotify at Crying in the Walk-In. You can find us in real life too, but only if you know us, you little freaks.